I would like to show you different types of elk hair, how to purchase it. It seems like the best type of way to purchase elk hair is actually seeing it when you get into a shop or fly tying show or fly fishing show. But when you can't get to a shop, there are other ways to do this. Number one, you can actually just purchase it online through a company, online companies. And honestly, it's not a bad piece of elk hair. It's not a bad piece of elk hair. You can see the length and the tips. And this is from a Nature Spirit Select Cow Elk, and this is their natural. This is a piece of elk that I picked up at a fly shop. This is also a piece of elk that is bleached for like lighter colored caddisflies or other types of wings that you need a lighter color. This is a piece of deer hair, and just wanted to show you the differences between the two. Deer hair is a little thinner compared to elk, which is a little thicker. I'm going to start with the tail of the stimulator. I only need a small amount for the tail. Cut that off. And I'm going to take a comb, get any of the fuzzies out of there. This one was pretty good, not as much under fur. Gonna put them in the hair stacker, and you'll see that they're all lined up. Okay, first we would like to secure the thread about an eye length back. Cut this tag off and bring the thread to the bend of the hook. Bend is always where the barb is on most hooks. That's why I don't pinch the barbs down when I'm doing demonstrations. Now I'm going to bring the thread to the 2/3 mark, 2/3 from the bend of the hook, because that is where my stopping point will be when I put the wing in. And also by adding some thread to the hook shank, it's like sand on ice. It'll add friction so the materials will not slip around. Now I'm going to add the elk hair tail. Measure it. It's supposed to only be as long as the gap of the hook. Take it, bring it to the bend, move my right hand to the tie-in point, and then bring my left hand to hold it in place, and I'll get ready to tie it in. Just want to show you something. When you put too much pressure on elk hair or any type of hair, it will splay. I don't want that to happen at the tail end, so what I'll do is it'll be secured in here, but I will bring the thread loosely to the bend of the hook. Open spiral wraps will also make it easier. Also, that elk hair on top of the shank of the hook will add a little buoyancy. I'll put a wrap underneath, maybe two will be even better. Pull, and that'll help keep it standing up. I'll bring the thread back to my starting point, and I'm going to trim the butts off. Now I'm going to add the gold wire, tie it underneath the shank of the hook, let it bend over just a bit like a little hook, tie it in. Once again, remember, I'm not putting this in tight, but I'm just placing it over the shank, over it loosely, so I don't cause that thread, the tail to spike out or flare. So now I'm at the bend of the hook. So now for this fly, I'm going to use orange dubbing, which you can use any type of orange dubbing. I'm here using Angora goat. It has a nice shine to it. It's not very easy to dub, and I will continue with my dubbing noodle, making it nice and tight. So my first wrap, I'm going to hold the tail in place and just secure that in place, and now I'm going to start dubbing the body, making sure that each wrap touches. Add some more. You can either use wax, wet your fingers, depending on what you want to use to wet them. Spit, you know, just touch it, lick the top of your finger. The oils from around your nose and ears work very well too. So let me slide that up. It's the hardest part is when you're trying to tie and you got a camera between you and the fly. It makes it a little difficult. And just to let you know that this fly originally was tied by Jim Slattery of New Jersey on the Musconetcong, and the name the Stimulator was actually a punk rock band that played in New York City. So that's a little bit of a history lesson for you. He also owns a little campground right by the dam at Hebgen Lake on the Madison. So that's a really great place. He makes awesome cinnamon buns. So now the body is dubbed. Now I'm going to tie in a brown hackle for the body. This is about one size smaller than the hook. I will trim off the stem. Take my hackle pliers. And start wrapping at least 2 times in front. 1, 2, and now I'm going to bring the hackle backwards, even open spacing, ribbing the body. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to end up at the bend. Going to take the gold wire and put 2 wraps right at the bend, and then release the hackle pliers. And now I'm going to take the gold wire and cross over the ribbing in equal turns. And this is a protection of the hackle feather, so that when a fish cuts it with their teeth, the feather will not just unwrap. This will lock it right into place. A couple of wraps there. Bring the bobbin to the shank, and cut that, break the thread off, and cut the hackle tip off at the bend. Next, we're going to tie the elk hair wing in. Once again, it was stacked the same way, just a little bit more fibers. But now I'm lining it up, making sure the tips line up. I'm going to put 1, 2 wraps in, give it a little pull, but hold the wing in place. There's the wing. I'm going to take 1/3 of it, move it up, another 1/3, and pass the thread through. The final thread, just wrap in. Then I'm going to take my thread and move it back to the beginning spot. Take my scissors and cut the butts off. And then secure those butts into place like so. Next, I'll take a Grizzly Hackle, which is sized for the hook. So if this is a size 10, this is going to be like a size 12 or 10 feather, using your hackle gauge to make sure. Secure that in place and cut the stem. Now bring my thread right to where I'm going to start the dubbing. Take a little yellow Angora goat, and I'm going to start the dubbing right by, I'm going to hold the wing. Get some more dubbing. Always use sparse amounts. And one more time. Just so you know that this imitates the adult stonefly, and can also be used to imitate a hopper pattern. The way it is used, you could either just dead drift it or just skate it. Having problem with the dubbing. Hold on, let me just correct that. And there we can't see with the camera in my way. Okay. Now I'll take my hackle pliers, grab the grizzly feather, and wrap it through the head, through the thorax area. Put a couple of wraps behind it. Trim it off. Give it a decent head back here. Take my whip finish tool. and cut. Okay, that is the Stimulator, and one of the flies that I've used on the Gray Bull and on Venus Creek in Wyoming. It is extremely effective, not only out west, but out east, for just anything. Thank you very much.